Hey everyone, Miacidae here, welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. So today we're doing another bit of a special episode, taking a look at the Sibyl. Now, Sibyl is a newer class, recently released, I'm a little bit late on it, made in collaboration. It's Marvin CO's newest mod. However, my understanding is it was a commissioned piece that they made in collaboration with Sanagi Yuzu, who is a VTuber. I'll put some of their art up here. Now, there are a lot of mods that you can put on along with the Sibyl. Right now, I just have the Sibyl along with their secluded shrine district, which if you want to see what it looks like built, don't mind the fact that I don't have much else built. I'm still getting this side estate kind of set up. It's the secluded shrine. It gives the Sibyl in particular plus 5% scouting chance and plus 50% restoration duration versus anyone that is below 51% health. Otherwise, for other mods that you can install to help your Sibyl or have more fun with her, you can get an immediate town event for her if you want. There are Crimson Court act-outs, Color of Madness act-outs. There is a Radiant patch for her if you want to have her more balanced for the Radiant version of the game, and there is a Stygian patch for the Stygian version of this game. Now, all of that being said, onto the Sibyl herself. She's kind of a more unique class that I'm kind of surprised they actually pulled off. So as you can see here, she is kind of a human class. However, she works kind of like the Abomination, only that she gets 2 different transformations, so there are 3 modes. So, onto what her skills actually do, because with 3 forms, she gets all of her skills always kind of like the Abomination. It just depends upon which mode she is in. Alignment is what changes her modes. It also refreshes all skill uses. So she starts in Moon. You use alignment to change to Eclipse. When you do that, you get a dodge buff and a speed buff. Depending upon what level it is, you get a different buff. Then you're free to use whatever action you want. You cannot use alignment to actions in a row. You have to wait until another turn. Then when you are Eclipse, you change to Sun. This ups your torch and will give all heroes a restoration. And this can be used from any row. When you're in Moonlight mode and you're in rows 3 or 4, you can use Moonlight Touch. This heals and gives a restoration as well as Curing Blight, which will be more important for some of her other moves. This is a single target. When she's in Moon or Eclipse, you can use Moonlight Embrace. Now, this has different effects depending upon what mode you're in, but no matter what mode you're in, you get minus crits received, and this hits all heroes. As Moon, this is an AoE heal. As Eclipse, this is plus accuracy and minus stress received. For some of her attack moves, you can use Banish in either, I believe it's Moon or Eclipse mode. This will move her forward. You can use it in any row, and has a lot of stuff attached to it. So it cannot crit. It will knock the enemy back by 3. It does no damage. However, it buffs the target to have stealth. If she's in Moon mode, she will stun the target. If she's in Eclipse mode, she will blight the target. Pretty heavily at that. Then Fairy Fire. She can only use this in Eclipse mode or Sun mode. She can also use this in any rank. It's armor piercing, it bypasses stealth and de-stealths, so it has some synergy with Banish. Remember, you can use alignment to change your mode at any time for a free action, so you can go from Eclipse mode to Sun mode very quickly, making that a very powerful 1-2 combo between 2 turns. So this will armor piercing, bypass stealth, de-stealth, torch up. As Eclipse, it's plus 50% damage versus stealth. However, as Sun, it's plus 100% damage versus stealth. It will also blight the target, but it will also blight all of your heroes. Kind of like the Matriarch did with Baneful Breath, if you remember that a while back. In fact, all of her Sun modes do that, blight all of your heroes. Not for much, but it is something to be aware of. And then on to her Sun only moves. We have Solar Ray, which can only be used from the back 2 rows. This is a huge damage with a 150% damage modifier. It does plus 35% damage versus anything that's blighted. However, once again, it blights all of your heroes. At rank 5, it's a 2 for 2 blight. And then we have Solar Flare. This is an AoE. It hits all 4 enemies, can only be used in ranks 1 or 2, and it is a back by 1. This does no damage by itself. However, it is a heavy blight, doing a 6 for 3 at rank 5. It will also clear all corpses, doing a 2-for-2 blight on all of your heroes. So as you can see, there's different mechanics depending upon which mode you are in, but she does lean heavily into curing blight that she causes or doing a lot of blight damage, with a few other gimmicks tossed in there as well. For her camping skills, we have Midnight Stroll for a 2-time cost. It is a stress minus 10 and 10% scouting chance for 4 battles. And her Radiance for a 2-time cost, if not religious, plus 10% healing received for 4 battles, and if religious, minus 10% healing received for 4 battles. For next to our 4-time cost, so Garden Harvest, produce 4 to 8 food, produce 2 to 4 medicinal herbs, and 0 to 2 anti-venom. And finally, Panacea for, once again, 4-time cost, 1 companion, cure disease, cure blight, cure bleed, remove mortality debuffs, and plus 10% healing received. All of this kind of goes into a camping skills are pretty heavy into the support. She has a lot that she can support with, but she can go very quickly into damage if you want her to. That's at least my very quick overview of skills. However, in playtesting, she can get a lot of damage out if you want her to. Then she has some pretty neat trinkets. I'll go over what I'm using after everything in the actual inventory I have here. For her common, we have the Petal Pouch. This is minus 4 crit total and plus 1 healing done as a base. That would mean as Moon on Moonlight Embrace, everyone would get plus 1 healing received. This would be a 4 instead of a 3 heal. That's kind of nice. Even for a common trinket, that's really good buff. We have a Protective Veil for the uncommon, plus 10 dodge if not in Sun, and plus 20 protection if not in Sun mode. If she's not in her damager mode, she gets a lot of buffs there. We have the Sun Scorched Petals as her rare, plus 15% damage, 6 crit, and plus 25% damage received if she is in Sun mode. For her very rare, we have the Lunar Veil, minus 33% damage that she will do. However, on friendly skill, buff party for 10% healing received, and on being hit, she will stealth herself. That is a 1-round stealth for a 67% chance to have happen. So this goes into, hey, you want Yuzu or Sibyl to heal that much more. We'll do the Crimson Core afterward, because I have one of those equipped. We have Bottled Twilight for her Color of Madness trinket, plus 2 speed if torch above 24, plus 2 speed if torch above 76 for a grand total of 4 speed. Always crit versus anything that is stealthed, minus 33 damage versus anything that is not stealthed, and on attack hit, buff target for stealth for 2 rounds. We also have the Rotweed Bouquet, which is another uncommon. This lowers her max HP by 10%. On attack hit, debuff target for minus 20% blight resistance. And on attack hit, debuff target for plus 10% damage received while blighted. So if they're blighted, they get plus damage received, meaning they take more damage from both blight and other sources of damage, which is amazing. And finally, for her 2 Crimson Court trinkets, we have the Bloody Soil, which is plus 66% damage versus anything that is bleeding, minus 25% blight chance, minus 18% death blow resistance, on attack hit, cure bleed. I'm guessing that is for herself. It might be for the enemy though, it's worded in a way it could be either way. On monster kill, all heroes heal 2 HP, so if she takes an enemy out, everyone including herself will heal for 2, plus whatever heal modifier she has already given them. Then we have the Sun Bleached Hairlock, so she does plus 2 healing done, plus 50% restoration duration versus bladed, plus 5% damage taken per 10 torch below 100, and on attack hit torch minus 2. For the set, if you have both of them equipped, plus 15 dodge if mode Eclipse, plus 25 dodge if mode Sun. So higher dodge the further into her modes you are, because you start with Moon, you go to Eclipse, then you go to Sun. Now, because of the plus 2 healing done, and then on monster kill, all heroes heal by 2, if you have both of those equipped, on monster kill you will heal for 4 instead of 2, which is nice to know. Then very quickly, there is a very quick quirk for the modes for Sibyl. Unless you're in Sun, you will leave the battle in the same mode you left it in, or were in. So if you're in Moon, you leave the battle on Moon. If you're in Eclipse, you leave the battle in Eclipse and stay in Eclipse. The only thing is, if you leave the battle in Sun, you go back to Moon form. So that means if you know you're going into a boss fight, or you think the next battle is a mini-boss, you can set yourself up to be in Eclipse mode right away, or whatever mode you want to be in for that fight. Go into it and be set up. You're not going to be like, oh, I wanted to be in Eclipse, but then the battle set me, after the battle I'm set back to Moon, so it takes me 2 turns to ramp up to Sun if you wanted to be in Sun for the boss. You can almost immediately go into Sun if you wanted to set up for it. Which is a nice touch because a lot of transformation classes transform back to their original state. And because she has 3 forms and that slight cooldown for it, you can set yourself up to go straight into the form you want. Or already be in the form you want, depending upon what situation you want Sibyl to be in. Which is a nice touch, just gotta know what you want for that fight. But enough of talking about her, let's actually go play with her, show her off a little bit. So I figured we'd have some fun with the rats in the mines in the Warpstone mine, so we'll be going to retrieve some of their tomes, take the Skaven tomes today. The party that's gonna kinda be helping her out is Zathena the Matriarch, Hush the Uncrowned, and Maverick the Bowman. So Maverick is going to have Sure Shot because bypass guard, bypass stealth, piercing arrow just for an AoE blight, and the kill just to finish things off. He's going to have the extra dosage for extra blight and blight chance, and moon oil bowstring for on hit, up the bleed and blight amount received, and on kill other enemies bleed and blight. Hush. It's Hush. We're mainly going to be using Ambush to open into Poison Knife, so we do extra damage versus Blighted. Next attack will have Blight, and then Fan of Knives to finish things off. We're going to have the Death Blow Hollow Gog, so we ignore Stealth on him, plus Crit versus Stealth. We're going to be going Torchless, so he has extra accuracy if Torch below 50, plus Scouting chance if Torch below 20. He also has the Zanzil's Altered Mixture, so he has minus Blight resistance. However, he also has plus Blight amount per combo point, and on a ranged hit, he will blight other enemies 2 for 3 blight, meaning at full combo points, that will be a 4 for 3 blight. On top of Poison Dagger here getting double blight because of the plus 25% blight amount per combo point, bringing that up to a 6 for 3 blight. And finally, Zathena here. She's going to kind of be our backup healer and damage dealer. So she's going to mainly be using Numbing Aroma. So all heroes 3 heal if blighted. Baneful Breath 5 for 3 blight on all enemies, 1 for 8 blight on all heroes. Poison Spike is a 3 for 3 blight, transferring blight to target, also stunning them. And then Venom Eater, 100% crit versus blighted, steals the target's blight. However, if Zathena ends a fight blighted, she gets rid of the blight, so I'm not too afraid of that. For Zathena's trinkets here, the Matriarch, we have the Cookie Jar, so Numbing Aroma is going to do 1 more healing. So every hit that I do with this is going to heal for 4 on most allies. If I need to, I can trade off one of these skills for Purify or Mythandrism to heal for a little more and do a little bit more restoration. And then we have the Despot's Crown. So she has plus accuracy on attack hit, she'll activate a riposte, and Baneful Breath and Numbing Aroma will have debuffs added to them. Baneful Breath getting a minus 6% crit, and Numbing Aroma having the minus 20% damage on as a debuff. I think I showed this earlier, but Yuzu is going to have the Rotweed Bouquet, so on attack hit, debuff target for the blight resistance, and on attack hit, plus damage received while they are blighted. Everyone here has blight, so they'll be taking a lot of extra damage received. And then we have the Sun Bleached Hairlock, so she'll do plus healing done, and then plus restoration done versus blighted. Everyone here is going to be blighted. We're just going to take Sibyl by ear here, kind of doing whatever mode I need her to do. In my playtesting, I was switching a lot between trying to get to Sun as fast as possible for the damages, and then switching back to Moon so I could use Moonlight Embrace to heal. So we'll see how this goes, but we're going to have some fun with it, I think. And also, since I'm not on my No Hope estate, which I'll put the playlist up here for, I'm not bound to the rules for that. So, I can heal, I can stun. I'm kind of excited for this since I haven't played an actual version of Darkest Dungeon where, I can do stuff. But yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've played Warpstone Mines or the version of the game where I can heal, or I can stun, or I can stress heal. So I'm really excited for this. There's one of our tomes. Alright, so right away let's take out the Striker because of the stun.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Did we just get crit for 23 right away? Oof. Alright, so I want to take a look at her skills here really quick, because what I originally had wanted to do was do alignment into banish for the blight on one of them. But he's also gonna do that. And then we're going to take some major damage. So I guess instead let's Moonlight heal. That way I also get a restoration on her. Changing to bleeding, bleeding then blighting arrows. And it will AoE blight them. That should take out the striker with that blight. Another 23 crit on her. That's a 3 for 2, so if I do Baneful Breath, I get blighted.
Destroy them all.
And then I can use Numbing Aroma to heal. Alright, let's do Poison Knife. Let's hit the Halberdier in the back. Blighted for 10 out of 14.
Give them no quarter.
Oh.
Is a tenuous proposition in this.
Oh. Well, that didn't go as planned. Alright, slight change of plans. Since Yuzu there, got turn 1 in the Warpstone Mines, which I'll show by the way. It was kinda bad. Or was it turn 2? Either way, it was kinda bad. We're going to the cove. We're gonna avoid the mines because 3 charges from the Storm Vermin critting her was kinda bad. I didn't She has kind of low health, I just realized that. Anyway, I think she'll do a lot better in the Cove. I was going to have funsies in the Warpstone Mines, but we'll play smart with her.
That we may prevent them from falling into even less scrupulous hands.
So I'll come back for this stuff, especially that quest there. And we got the Lost Legion already. So let's go for the Judicator because he's gonna get guarded. We're going to change to bleeding, then blighting arrows. And piercing all of them to get a good blight on what we can. Now, Yuzu here, we can do a lot of fun stuff. Originally, my plan was to get into Sun mode as fast as possible, because that's where she's going to be doing damage. I don't think I need to be healing for a little bit, so let's use Alignment. This is going to give her dodge, this is going to give her speed. She's in Eclipse mode now. There's not much change here. I honestly can't really tell. But then, what we're going to do is we're going to banish. Actually, no. Let's do Moonlight Embrace. Minus crits received plus accuracy. Not that they have much dodge, but the crits received is kind of nice. Haha, you failed to guard your friend. And then he missed Hush. This may stun us. It did not. Okay. Then Zathena is going to Baneful Breath, blighting them again. It's going to blight most of us. And then we're going to use Alignment again, healing all of us, changing to stun, and we're going to have some fun. So I could Holy, or Fairy Fire here. This would just do a small blight, bypass stealth, de-stealth. And if I had used Banish in the previous turn, this is where some big damage would come in. But since they're blighted, this is where we're gonna do our damage. And miss. Thankfully everyone resisted that, otherwise it would have been bad. Poison Knife, let's hit one of the Cleric Errants, blighting him. Nasty little blight there. I love how the wings go away when she's hit. And now she's stunned. Lovely. Sure Shot, bypassing guard. Numbing Aroma, let's heal up. 6 and 18, so yeah, we'll go with the Judicator here. Stress heal, baby. Love it. He really wants to stun Maverick. He really wants to stun him. And we got a riposte. Dragon Bite. And 20, 17, 6. I mean, all of them other than the Cleric Errant go down anyway, so let's just do this in Blight, and now he goes down to the Blight. Or almost, I suppose. Not totally. And then we can just finish up with the kill.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
And heal up.
A momentary abatement.
Bye-bye. See you later. 36 Blight and Bleed. Oh, that's amazing. Too bad Sibyl wasn't more of that. And then she goes back to moon mode.
Resistance.
Which is kind of cool seeing the little background there. Forgot to douse the torch for Hush.
The darkness holds dominion. Black as death.
And if anyone's wondering what the background is, it's the immersive background mod. How bad's the Blight? We can just eat it. Sawtooth an enemy. You know, this bypasses riposte, so let's go at the Urchin while we can.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Going to alignment. Or, no. Rather, Eclipse mode. Then let's banish onto the Abyssal Slater. Because that doesn't damage it, but it still gives it a Blight. And then I can Sure Shot. So I don't do too much damage to Maverick here. And hit the Sawtooth an enemy. Baneful Breath.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
You know, I'm just going to Cloak of Shadows so I get the attack that bypasses riposte there. And we're going to Fairy Fire on this little guy because Armor Piercing bypass Stealth. And we'll just stay in Eclipse mode for now.
Precision and power.
And then we can just take him out while healing.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
We will use some anti-venom.
Overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Because 1 for 7, 2 for 8 is not cool. How bad's Bleed? And that's 8 damage as well. And up we go. We got 2 of our things to pick up along the way. Get rid of the torch. Only have these extra torches for like the creeping mist and stuff like that, so they are actually somewhat required. Hey, a fight. Hey, the Orcadian. This gonna be fun. No more Aegis. Sure Shot should do more damage, I believe. I do not... Yeah, I don't want him stealthed. But otherwise, all I'm really gonna be able to do is Fairy Fire. So let's banish from this. I suppose let's Fairy Fire in Sun mode, because that's what's going to blight him. Nice little call there. Alright, she's perched, she's blighted, he's blighted. We get the full effect from Numbing Aroma. Poison Knife. Blight him for more. Do extra damage because blighted. And then, because he's blighted now, Solar Ray. I love that little beam down.
May indeed stalk these shadows.
Or actually reminds me of Solar Beam from Pokemon. And now things about to get bad. Okay, let's see. 4 bleed, we're gonna get rid of that. And then... do I want to heal, or do I want to go for the Poison Spike? We're not gonna stun him, but we could transfer the Blight. Not that it's gonna do much. We'll go for the heal. Six to 10 with pretty nasty blight, or nah, we'll go for the blight so I keep the combo points. See, now is when I can transfer that. Solar Ray won't do what I want, so Fairy Fire. I don't think that's ever gone off on me. Maverick might be in trouble. Yeah, heal who we can. That way Maverick's not at death's door and doesn't get a tick from it.
Fevered pitch of battle.
Just so he doesn't get another tick, then use the kill.
And now the true test. Hold fast or expire.
I do have a plan for this, so Everscrape first, do the damage we can. Oh, that was an Everscrape, alright, buddy. I didn't even have to go through with what I thought.
A trifling victory. But a victory nonetheless.
So my plan there was actually to pop her back into Moon mode and then use either Moonlight Touch or Moonlight Embrace to heal everyone. But that wasn't needed. We will Anti-Venom there because that's bad. And I forgot I had Holy Waters set aside for that situation when I ran into a Miniboss. Trapezohedron for Onyx. Okay, default order. Take this. Can shovel here. See what we get. I'm pretty sure I have the Rosary. But that could be a nice little healing move, but it really only triggers on Cloak of Shadows, if I remember right. So we'll leave that. I'm going to camp in here, because we got more than enough food, and we'll probably find more. Feasting for the health and the stress.
It's a goal without hope.
I'm going to cheat Death, because this gets rid of his mortality debuff on Hush. Then after that, Someone here has a prevent nighttime ambush. Okay, so this also is minus stress. So I'm going to see if anyone else gets stressed out from anything. I'm also going to garden harvest for more anti-venom. Because otherwise, all I have is Milk the Fang. So that'll do 8 of my 12. And I should probably do a scout. So, yeah, survival skills. I really wanted to do Venom's Embrace, though. That's not as important, I think. Okay. So, Overpossessive, this gets rid of stress, prevent nighttime ambush, and all companions minus damage received. This means while they're blighted, they take even less damage. Nighttime Stroll, reduce some stress. Actually, no. I was going to do Garden Harvest. This gets me food, this gets me medicinal herbs, this gets me anti-venom. Only 1 anti-venom, but it's better than nothing. And then survival skills for the scouting chance. A pleasant stroll. A pleasant stroll so far. It's only been the Orcadian.
A blazing star is born.
See, this is why we have the torches. Even though I was torchless.
Secrets and wonders can be found in the most tenebrous corners of this place.
And then I'm actually going to heal up a little bit here. And then we'll take the deeds. And technically, I can get out of here now. Because that was the quest. However, I feel like we should do a few more combats just to have fun with the new character. Now, her trap disarm is only 70. And she's level 5. So it's not that great. So I wouldn't rely on her unless you really need to de-stress her. Overall, she's a very thematic character. Very good art, I'll say. Like, Marvin knocked this one out of the park.
Wealth beyond measure. Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
This was going to be a reward for another quest I was thinking of doing, so it's kind of funny that I just find it. What do we get? We have 10 medicinal herbs. I just realized that. We'll get rid of some of those. Like, it's not too often on transformation characters. I love the art on both of them. And she looks like a even better designed Vestal in this form. And then her other one just looks like an amazing, like, monster girl almost. I almost thought this was the door. Why are you doing this to me, immersive backgrounds? I thought that was the door and then the trap was right here. Alright, down we go. I'll get this on the way back. Hunger check, of course. I don't know who's eating more food, but... Oh, are we disturbing their meal? Is that what's happening here? Okay, so we're in moon mode right now. I think what I would like to do is go alignment. So I go to Eclipse. I'm gonna banish hitting the Savage, because I have a plan. So now I armor pierce him. And he's bladed. That way I can leave him for later. Getting rid of the Piranha. Ouchie. You can move back. And we're gonna have to go for Baneful Breath, so I can heal. So 5 and 11, okay. Ten bleed. Yeah, she's just taking that much more damage right now. Okay, so medicinal herbs, bandage, and then we're gonna fairy. What am I doing? Alignment to change to sun, give everyone a restoration, and now Fairy Fire does more damage to him and unstealths him. Blighted for 12. Leave Maverick alone, dude.
As life ebbs, terrible vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
Bandage, anti-venom. We're living on the edge here. If I poison dagger the champion, the blight also hits these two and they go down. Piercing arrow to hit all of them with blight. Just don't hit Hush, please. Well, at least he survived. Good boy. Good boy. And then we can heal. So champion goes down, we just have the savage left that we're going to tear apart with blight. 20 blight around for 4 rounds plus damage up, so. And then let's have fun and do solar flare. 6 blight around, but no damage. This also moves her back. That is so cool looking.
Haunting the hearts of men.
1 down. Then we do the kill. We're gonna pop champion, because if we crit him, it would have done bleed and blight to the savage.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
And then default party order. Get rid of this blight for now. And we'll continue on. Okay, no room battle on the way back. That would have screwed me big time. Hey, food! Where's my food? I feel cheated. Where's my food? Give me the food. I don't want the jute tapestry. Give me my food. Oh, this is botched. I've made so many bad decisions. Alright, here we go. What do you want to bet I run into at least, like, the sailor or something, too, on the way? Food?
Packs laden with loot are often low on supply.
Okay, I can't complain. It did give me some food. Not much, not enough to be able to really heal with, because I don't have 2 hunger checks worth, but... Okay, there's probably a mini-boss in here. I'm not sure what. Ignores Aegis, ignores riposte, cannot be guarded. We'll just go at the savage for now. I got a bit of a plan here. So this is going to put her into Eclipse. But we should... feel like we should heal. But it's only going to be a 4 heal. So let's do Eclipse. And then Fairy Fire the Tide Master. Then I can Piercing Arrows blight these two. Baneful Breath blighting them. Also getting me blighted so I can heal. Oh, back off with that bleed.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
And then if I Poison Knife him, he's just gonna drop pretty quickly.
Inspiration.
14 blight already.
Improvement.
Bandage that. Going into Sun form again. And we'll Solar Ray since he's blighted.
The darkness.
And we resisted that, so that's nice.
Trickery and boogeymen.
And then we'll do the kill. Not that it's doing much, but it is opening him up for more blight.
Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss.
And then Hush is fine. Numbing Aroma.
Death is patient. It will
And then
wait.
18 he drops. So what I'm going to do is we're going to transfer back to Moon. And then we're going to heal everyone.
A time to perform beyond one's limits.
And then heal everyone again because they're blighted.
A victory. Perhaps the turning point.
And we'll leave the Hydra Scale, leave the crests. Default party order. Hate when it does that. Last two antivenoms. I thought this would be a mini-boss, but it just a Stalking Stingray. Okay, so we're in Moon now. Alignment change.
A brilliant confluence.
I can banish, hit the Slater for now, so I don't do damage to it, but it's blighted, and then I can do more damage to it next turn. Ambush the Urchin, bypassing the riposte. And then we'll just sure shot the Stingray for now.
Masterfully executed. The ground quakes.
Little bit of blight. Oh, that looks like it hurts. We're stung. Alright, Poison Knife.
Well struck.
And then back into Sun so I can Fairy Fire the Slater. I think that'll do more damage, yeah? That's the only way I can hit the Slater. So better. And then Sure Shot again, bypassing guard. Down he goes to Blight.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
And then healing everyone. I feel like this little tempo works. I was a little afraid that between the Matriarch and Sibyl, this wouldn't be enough healing. Between how much blighting they were. Oh, 36 there.
The greater the glory.
I know that's not like much compared to the leper and such, but it's still nice every once in a while.
Success so clearly in view.
5 and
Or
5.
is it merely a trick of the light?
I was kind of afraid that this wouldn't work the way I had wanted to, because between the Sibyl and the Matriarch here, this is a lot of team blight. You have to admit the fact that, like, every time she does Sun attacks, there's a chance for me to blight me for 2 a round. So that's a stacking 2 damage there. And then every time I want to use Baneful Breath, that's a 1 for 8. 8 rounds is a while for a blight. Even if it's 1 point. So that's first round, 3 blight a round for 2 turns. That can add up quickly. So I was afraid the healing from the Matriarch and then a few off heals from the Sibyl wouldn't be enough here. But it works. And I am happy it does because I love this team. And meanwhile, the Sibyl is just tossing blight after damaging attack after damaging attack with a few buffs here and there. It works. I love it. I love it so much. Now, I can't imagine, like, if you... I know I'm just using the Sibyl trinkets here, so if you cracked out a Sibyl with really broken cross-mod trinkets and really went at this, oh man, it would be beautiful. Gonna go back for the secret room. Because there are still heads I'm missing on this estate, which I did not find.
The first test. Now it must be carried home.
Don't need that. But I forgot that trapezohedrons can stack up because of how I have this estate set up, so cool. 2 more battles if I can manage it. We will try, but at least 1 more. Hunger check. So I'm gonna need some food, guys. Sibyl, let's look. Actually, you know what? Screw it. We ball and... There's only 1 tile that I might get a hunger check on, so I'm taking the risk. I basically had this a few fights ago, didn't I? 2 Eclipse. Then if I banish the Savage again, I can armor pierce him soon. He gets blighted. We do blight arrows. Really missed all of them. Ambush hitting the Piranha. And then Baneful Breath so that I hit all of them with the nasty blight. Kinda surprised the rock clams didn't get blighted, but then I can heal everyone later as needed. Then Sun mode again. You know, that was the other thing, is I was a little concerned about how bad it would be to change forms because you know, you can't go straight into Sun like I would like, but it's not too bad. And then you can set up combos like that, which is kind of fun. Like just within her own ecosystem. That Clam does not want to get blighted. There we go. And then let's finish him off with the Solar Ray. He's gonna go down to blight. 22 blight, 11 health. Cloak of Shadows.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the shore.
Numbing Aroma to heal. Oh, I healed too early there.
The wounds of war can be healed.
Oh, that's right. Numbing Aroma heals no matter what. Now, even if I don't have the blight, because just flat +1 heal. I remember talking to
The blood quickens.
Vintage about that and telling him that I had found it, and he's like, well, they basically told me they were fine not rebalancing that trinket here to not have it heal with only on blight because it's just a +1 healing, which fair. I wouldn't want to totally rebalance that either with a bunch of coding. I 100% understand that. It's a 1 heal, AoE heal.
Trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
Hey, anti-venom. Probably should have gotten rid of the shovel, but whatever. I can use it here. Okay. Hey, Squiffy Gast. Ooh, haven't seen a Mercenary Occultist yet. I've seen a lot of the Mercenaries, but not the Occultist. So he is from the Koala's Creature Collection, Color of Madness, if you don't know him at all yet. We're going to... I want to get rid of that Squiffy Gas as soon as possible, but I feel like doing the Banish into Fairy Fire on him wouldn't do me justice, especially with Hush still to go. So I'm going to Banish onto the champion here so I can Armor Pierce it, and then Fairy Fire it next turn with Yuzu and Sun. And then I can ambush the Ghast, leaving the Occultist up to see what he can do, because he had a debuff that didn't last.
Cannot be left unanswered.
Oh. Well, not a good plan, but plan.
Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
You need to get back into 4. Less of a chance of being hit. Not sure what the Occultist is going to do, mind you, but less of a chance of being hit. Then we put on the Restoration. As long as Maverick goes before he's hit, he's fine. And then we Fairy Fire the champion. No longer stealthed. Ah, shite. Then Poison Knife the Piranha. Transfer that Blight around a bit. Shite. Double shite.
Uncertainty, the birthplace of dread.
Oh, of course he heals. Should have figured that one. It's not going to be for enough, though. Okay, so now we can do Numbing Aroma. That's going to heal Maverick. Piercing Arrow, trying to blight them. Oh, we can't do that. Fine. Take out Piranha so it stops pulling me. Solar Ray hitting the Ghast. I think it went down. And then we can Eviscerate on to the Occultist. Stabby, stabby, stab. Hey!
Foolish horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
So the Color of Madness Koala's Creature Collections always usually drop a really good trinket or a Trapezohedron. Usually one of the two, not both. They also drop Comet Shards. No matter where you are, you don't have to be in Farmstead Plus, so it's usually a good way of getting those. I've also gotten memories, if I recall correctly, from some of them. And I was in the Weald? No, the Warrens when that happened, so you don't, once again, have to be in the farmstead for that to happen. Just going over this because, you know, I haven't really done a video on those guys yet. I've been planning to, but they're such a random thing. I also got the Lunar Veil, which I went over earlier in the video. So I obviously have one of these, but we'll take an extra. We'll take the Comet Shards. And I feel like it would be a waste not to take the extra Sapphire. But at the same time, everything there is worth more than the Sapphire, so that feels a little weird. Actually, what I'm going to take a chance at opening the Clam there. Just making sure nothing here is out of order. Okay. One last throw of the day, Sibyl. Money. Thank you. I guess it's worth more than the thing I gave up, but... And, that be that. That was fun. I really enjoyed Sibyl. They worked hard on that. I'm not sure how long that took them, but they made a really, really fun class. So I highly suggest going to the Steam Workshop and using it if you're at all interested. It's been out for a little while now, so it's not like you have to wait any time before going and checking them out. It's been out on the Steam Workshop for a while. Go check it out if you're at all interested. You saw some of the combos I got up to with just this little group. There's so much more that you can do. There's so many things on the workshop that you can have fun with, just like putting her into a team. Your imagination is kind of the limit with that class.
Crafted instrument of butchery and bloodshed.
There's so many roles she can fill, like AoE healer, spot healer, buffer, damage dealer, blighter. Depending upon what position you want her to be in, there's a lot she can do. Dancer, you do you there, and she's gonna do a lot for you if you want her in your estate. Obviously, you know, Marvin does really good DD art. I think he was actually hired from Red Hook at one point. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong there. So his art style actually is like very akin to the DD art style when he does his custom mods. So that's why they look like this rather than some of the other mods. Is I'm pretty sure they've done stuff for Red Hook and they have stuff that's actually in the game. And then this is just one of their Sibyl, and then their other mods are just stuff they've made on the side. So fun stuff. I really loved it. I highly suggest checking it out. The exact class mod name is down in the description of the video. All you have to do is copy and paste it into the Steam Workshop, and you will find it very easily if it's still not on the front page. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure if you want to find some of the art and stuff like that on Twitter, it'll be reposted by Marvin CEO, put their name up here on screen, or Sanagi Yuzu. Both of them I've seen art for this class and some of them playing it. I think Sanagi Yuzu played some of it recently, so you can check some of them playing it out. I know that Kilted Dungeoneer also played it. I know that the Sorting Helmet also played a bit with her if you want to check out some other people playing with it. Otherwise, go play it, have your own opinion, have great fun with her. So that'll be it for this time. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz, and otherwise, as always, I wish you all well. I'll see you next time, and please, have a good one.